The Injured Senior Podcast is here to help. Like it or not, the senior and elderly population is vulnerable to negligence committed by medical professionals, nursing homes, assisted living facilities, pharmaceutical and medical device companies, insurance companies, and everyday individuals and businesses. Your host, Steve Heisler, creator of the National Injured Senior Law Center, has been advocating for seniors' rights for over 30 years and is bringing you answers to your questions. This is the Injured Senior Podcast.
Good day to all in our injured senior, elderly, and aging population communities. I am Steve Heisler, founder and CEO of the National Injured Senior Law Center, and you are dialed into a brand new episode of the Injured Senior Podcast. For those who are not aware, the Injured Senior Podcast is a show dedicated to discussing medical and legal issues of vital importance to seniors, elderly, and the aging populations, as well as their children, loved ones, and caregivers. We are sponsored by the National Injured Senior Law Center, the legal advocates for aging individuals who've been injured due to the negligence of others. To learn more, go to www.injuredseniorhotline.com. So back about 12, 13 years ago, I got pneumonia. I'm not really sure what caused me to get it, but I definitely caught pneumonia. To be very honest, it scared the living daylights out of me. So I go to the doctor and I am diagnosed with pneumonia. He prescribes antibiotics. I don't like antibiotics, but I went ahead and took the medication because that's what the doctor told me to do. Still, the pneumonia wouldn't go away. It wasn't as severe, but I still had an upper respiratory issue. So I'm trying to figure out how I can get rid of, all the effects of the pneumonia and be back to square one where I started from before I got the pneumonia. So I tried acupuncture, vitamins, but no luck. I just could not shake this upper respiratory problem for the life of me. So I read somewhere that sitting in a dry, hot sauna for short periods of time, like 20, 25 minutes, several days a week, can help with upper respiratory problems. So I found a dry sauna at a local gym and I gave it a try. I can tell you folks that after a couple weeks, I had dramatically improved and was finally done with the pneumonia. I was done. And I was the happiest guy in the world because I felt miserable and I just couldn't function with the pneumonia. So I was so impressed with the positive effects of the sauna that I actually went out and purchased one for myself. Yes, I put a dry sauna in my basement. Now, yeah, you're thinking, oh, okay, how does he get, who can put a dry sauna in the basement? Well, I actually found some Scandinavian individual who went down and built the sauna in my basement. It was a little expensive, but I was so sold on saunas and just how they cleared up my pneumonia. And I never wanted to get pneumonia again. So I said, I'm going to invest something for my health. I use the sauna 2-3 times a week. And I feel great. So why am I telling you this? Folks, as we age, and I will be 60 next year, our immune system gets weaker and we become much more susceptible to health problems. Yes, the health problems that we talk about on this podcast. There are a lot of health problems that regular sauna use can help prevent, but I want to talk about strokes and the benefit of sauna use. Now, I don't think I have to educate everyone about strokes. We hear about strokes so much, just unfortunately, in our day in and day out lives, but strokes are definitely not a laughing matter. Stroke is the 4th leading cause of death in the United States. Stroke causes more significant long-term disabilities than any other disease, and older people are at higher risk for stroke. There are two types of strokes. One is ischemic stroke. Now, ischemic stroke is caused by a blood clot or blocked artery leading to the brain. This keeps oxygen from getting to brain cells in other parts of the brain and results in a stroke. The second type of stroke is hemorrhagic. A broken blood vessel causes bleeding in the brain, causing horrific results. Consequences of a stroke lead to problems with speaking, thinking, or walking. There's people who have aphasia where they can't talk because of the effects of the stroke. So, stroke is one of the worst things you can have happen to you. According to the NIH, doing the following can reduce your chances of stroke. Control blood pressure, stop smoking, as smoking increases the risk of all types of problems, including heart disease and strokes. Control your cholesterol, control diabetes, eat healthy foods, and exercise regularly. Now, I'd like to add another suggestion: use a sauna 3 to 4 times a week. This is Steve Heisler, and you're listening to the Injured Senior Podcast, and we are talking about sauna use and stroke. So a study published in the journal Neurology makes the case that older adults who regularly sit in a hot sauna are less likely to suffer a stroke. Now, the study followed more than 1,600 Finnish adults between the ages of 53 and 74 at the beginning of the study. None had had a history of a stroke. Over the next 15 years, the people in the study had 155 strokes in all. So the 1,600 Finnish adults who they were studying used a sauna anywhere from 1 to 4 to 5 times a week. And they studied them over the next 15 years. And over that next 15 years, the people in the study had overall 155 strokes. Now, that's 155 strokes for 1,600 plus Finnish participants. And the rate was actually lowest among the participants who used a sauna 4 to 7 times a week. There are other factors that might explain the results, like smoking, lack of exercise, high blood pressure, and diabetes. But the conductors of the study still found that their findings were extremely convincing and stick by their findings. Now, a disclaimer: if you've recently had a heart attack, unstable angina, or low blood pressure, you should stay out of a hot sauna. Talk to your doctor about sauna use, but that's something you should bring up with your medical provider and tell them, look, I listened to a podcast about a study that showed that people who had, or older individuals who had bathed or bathed in hot saunas for 3 to 7 times a week had positive health results, especially towards stroke. Do you think this might be something for me? Now, if your doctor gives you the go-ahead and says, yeah, you can go ahead and use a sauna, I recommend that you use either a dry sauna or an infrared sauna. If you want to go on the internet, and they'll tell you the benefits of dry saunas as opposed to a steam sauna. The dry saunas, like I said earlier, are saunas that have the rocks in there, hot rocks, and you pour water over it and it causes it to heat up even more, but it's a dry heat. The infrared saunas are newer, and I don't use an infrared sauna, but I've heard infrared saunas, while they're not as hot, are still as effective as using a dry sauna. If you can't purchase your own sauna, and they can be expensive, I would recommend that you just go on the internet and look at gyms in your area or spas in your area and find some that have dry saunas or infrared saunas. They're out there. I know it's at the time of this recording, we are in the midst of COVID-19, but you can still go to gyms. They are still open with some limitations or restrictions. But even if you have to wait out until everyone's vaccinated and we're back to being normal as a country, definitely want to check out and find the gyms or spas that that have these saunas. And I think they charged me back then, this was like 10 or 12 years ago, I think I got like a 30-day membership. But I recommend that you get a membership or at least pay, them daily just to go in to use the sauna, because to me, it's been a life changer. And I also just want to let you know that I have no affiliations with any saunas or any sauna companies. I'm telling this because I really believe it works. And I can tell you that since I started regularly using a sauna, my blood pressure has gone down. I don't get colds, or if I get them, I get them for like the blink of an eye. They're gone like very soon. And I sleep like a baby. So it's been awesome talking to you today. I hope that this episode was helpful. I look forward to talking to you again real soon next week. Stay well. Bye now.
Thanks for listening to the Injured Senior Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, please rate, subscribe, review, and share on Apple, Google, or wherever you get your podcasts. Connect with us at injuredseniorpodcast.com and sign up for our newsletter. To find out more or to get help at any time, visit injuredseniorpodcast.com or call 855-622-6530. That's 855-622-6530.